What's up, historians? I'm Smith McNeill, and this is Echoes of Freedom. Together, we'll travel to America's most iconic places, uncover hidden stories, and bring the past to life. From the voices of everyday heroes to the legends we thought we knew, we'll listen to the echoes of freedom that shaped our nation. So get ready to explore, learn, and celebrate American history, one story at a time. What's up, historians? This is going to be a very interesting video. I don't know. I've been to a lot of places for the channel, for the show. Something about this place weighs heavy. Something about this place is unique and weighs very, very heavy. You're going to see some footage at the end of this video of getting to this point. There's a little bit of a hike, actually. Let's just look. Sitting at about a half-mile hike through the woods to get here. All the way here. All the way here, listening to the echoes of freedom. I feel like I don't even need to be wearing a hat in this place, because it represents a dark time in our American history. So you ask yourself, or you're asking, why is this place so important? What is the heavy weight of this place? Well, this right here, this big fat tree here behind me, I'll step to the side. Maybe I'm off camera, I can't see my screen. But this big fat tree here is a witness to the chain-breaking echoes of freedom here in North Carolina. This right here was present during the operation of the Underground Railroad in the mid-1800s, from 1819 to the 1850s. And I'm going to show you the sign here right beside, and just read it off to you. Now you understand why this place is so heavy. It says, let me zoom in for you. It says, the Underground Railroad tree is a tulip popular dating back before 1800. It's present during the operation of the Underground Railroad between 1819 and 1852. This is a silent witness to the lives and actions of African Americans enslaved and free, and all their white allies, including many Quakers from New Garden. What can we learn from our shared histories and life stories? And do we seek to create justice in places of refuge in our own community and in a world at large? This is part of the Underground Network to Freedom. So it's since I can be back here and see, it's this big thick tree that you're seeing right there that was zoomed in. And we're going to go and get a better view of this, so stay tuned, hold your horses. Alright, just for size, we're now standing at the base of this tree, and I can just feel the echoes of freedom. I'm standing here imagining somebody resting up against this tree as they pass by, escaping slavery in the South, maybe camped out right here in this little notch propped up against the tree, and that one over there. The big tree. But as you're going to see at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the walk over, or talk along the walk here, and talk about the echoes of freedom that ring through these woods. As you can hear, as I was on my way up here, I heard shackles, dogs barking, different sounds that just come to mind as I was making my way up the trail. Now I'll explain those in detail as I'm walking up. You'll see that at the end of the video. But let's talk about the history, not only behind this tree, but the Underground Railroad. And quite frankly, I thought Devil's Den was eerie, but this place here is pretty eerie. Yeah, it's I've done is it's made for people to come and visit, but thinking about the echoes of freedom that ring throughout, I'm putting myself in the mindset of an escaped African American from slavery, from bondage, trying to make their way to the north to be free. I'm sitting here thinking about all the sounds I could have heard, listening to the nature. There's a little bit of a drizzle going on, so I'm hearing that hit the leaves. It's fall, so there's some small branches and limbs falling, and it's kind of startling when you're out here. It's just you, and I'm just thinking about being out here. It's running away. It's just me, and any sound could mean either my death or going back into bondage. And it's startling. You think about it, and you're like, "Oh, what was that?" You start looking around. The panic, and so I'm gonna drop this mic. So let's talk about it. This massive old oak, sometimes called the Horsepen Creek Witness Tree, is more than 300 years old. That means it stood here since before the American Revolution, all through slavery, the Civil War, Jim Crow, and still standing here into our own time. This tree has been here for all of American history. But the thing that stands out to me is the Underground Railroad. And for reference, if you saw the last episode about Guilford Courthouse, the battlefield, we are literally, I kid you not, 3 miles off of the battlefield right here at the Witness Tree. So it was here, and it may be involved in the Revolution. But what we know it for today is it being a witness tree to the Underground Railroad, and that's what's made this tree famous. It's kind of secluded out here. We're on the grounds of Guilford College out here, and they've done this trail up nice. It does some nice trail work to get people out here to see it, and that ended up really nice for people to be able to come visit. But I know some people can't, and that's why I'm bringing you here today, and we're covering it on Echoes of Freedom, because this is part of American freedom that needs to be shared. It's what brought us and shaped our country to what it is today. Local oral history holds that this area was a meeting point on the Underground Railroad, or what we would call a station on the railroad. The secret network and the Underground Railroad was the secret network of routes and safe houses used by enslaved people escaping to freedom in the 19th century. Now, anybody know who the most famous Underground Railroad conductor was? Give you a second. It's this lady right here, a lady by the name of Harriet Tubman. She escaped slavery herself and then comes back as a conductor on the railroad. And what we call by a conductor, we call it a railroad. It's really not a physical like train railroad. It's a series of houses, meeting points like possibly this tree, or actually was this tree, and different things like that. And this tree would stand out at that point. It's this big tree that obviously stands out, and you can find it. If you're looking through the woods, you can kind of find where you're at. Of course, if you know the area, you know how to get here. But the Underground Railroad was a series of safe houses and meeting spots with stations along the way, which would be these safe houses and meeting spots where people could rest or hide. And the conductors, as we call them, they're the people that would be your guide. And so Harriet Tubman escapes, and people called her Moses. She freed or escorted over 300 people to freedom along this Underground Railroad, coming in, getting them out of bondage, or picking them up at different stations and taking them back up into the north to be free. Now, at these different houses, they would hide in attics and barns, whatever, and if the Home Guard came, the Home Guard was like your local police force of the Confederacy. They would come in, and if they found an enslaved person in your house that you were harboring, you would be probably hung or at least taken to prison. It would be bad news for you and your family, and then they would take the enslaved African American that was trying to get to freedom and either put them back into bondage, severely beat them, then put them back into bondage, or kill them on the spot. So that's kind of what the Underground Railroad is. Historians believe that enslaved men and women on nearby farms and plantations found shelter and direction under this very tree. Like I said, it kind of stands out. Aided by both free black residents and Quakers in the Guilford area, who were active in the abolitionist movement. And as I said, Harriet Tubman, who becomes one of the most famous Underground Railroad conductors. And I don't remember if I said it earlier, but she was nicknamed Moses for freeing all of the people and bringing all those people to freedom. And if you don't know what abolitionist means, it means anti-slavery. They're here to abolish slavery and get rid of it. So let's talk about Guilford County and the Underground Railroad. Guilford County was unique in the South. The region had a strong community of Quakers or Friends who opposed slavery on moral and religious grounds. Many Quaker families risked their livelihoods and even their safety to help freedom seekers by hiding them, providing food, and guiding them to the north. The New Garden Friends Meeting House, just a few miles from here, became one of the best known Underground Railroad safe havens in the South. Some historians say as many as 2,000 enslaved people passed through Guilford County on their way to freedom. And seeing this in my notes, I think we're going to try maybe to go over there if I can find it. Um, I forgot about looking at it, but we might tag on to this episode from the New Garden Friends Meeting House if it's still standing or a place that we can get to talk about. One formerly enslaved man, Isaac Copper, later said of his escape, "The night was dark, but the friends led me true. We trusted God and the trees to cover us." And you can see it's rather thick woods here, so they used the trees to kind of hide their movements, places to hide, places to camp, made marks along the way, landmarks, things like this tree that would stand out to make a landmark along the way. It's not hard to imagine this great oak serving that very purpose, as I just said. So, why this witness tree matters? Well, the underground witness tree is more than just a tree, it's a living monument. Unlike a stone memorial that we see on all these battlefields and all this other stuff, this oak actually stood during those desperate nights, its branches sheltering people risking everything for their freedom. So think about it. This tree was here when enslaved men and women crept quietly through the woods, guided by whispers, lanterns, and faith. It was here where Quaker families opened their doors despite the danger. It was here when America was at a crossroads between bondage and liberty. And it was also here when America was at the crossroads between becoming a British colony and declaring their independence as an independent country. So, in closing, today the witness tree is recognized as a historic and cultural landmark. It reminds us that the fight for freedom didn't just happen in a big battle or famous speech, it also happened quietly under the cover of night, in the woods, in places just like this. The witness tree calls us to remember the courage of those who sought freedom and the bravery of those who helped them along the way. So never forget that history isn't just written in books or carved in stone. Sometimes it's alive in the branches above us. Hope you all have enjoyed this episode. This is kind of a heavy episode. This place rings echoes of freedom all throughout the walk out here and all around the area. I'm listening to a bird right now up in the trees and just thinking about what it might have been to sit here along the way of the Underground Railroad. I hear a dog barking in the distance, and it's kind of bringing things to life about, oh no, it's that dog coming for me. Do I stay put? Do I move? That's the question. This has been Echoes of Freedom. Stay tuned, there's more to come. All right, guys. So let's just extend that out. We are out in the woods right now, listening to the echoes of freedom. I have to say, I can hear them. I don't want to spoil the location, which I actually thought it was going to be just off of the road. But we're actually on a trail. It's a very nice trail. We're going to hike out to it. But we'll just flip this around so you can see all this around in here. I like to think we're getting closer to it. There may be a part B to this. I think this looks familiar from the map I just looked at. Definitely got some wildlife out in here. We can hear the echoes of freedom. I'm not going to give away the location, which you've probably figured out the location from the title of the video. Let's walk up this direction. The map is a little hard to read. But we're walking through in the footsteps of people of the past. As we're coming through here. I can hear, as I'm walking, I can hear thumping hearts. I can hear dogs barking and people yelling. It's a big spider web. Quite frankly, I'm not sure I'm going the right way. We're going to backtrack. We'll backtrack to the map. See what we got going for us. I can hear the people yelling, feet shuffling. I hear chains and shackles. It's right here walking through these woods. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. I know this is going to be, this will be after, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to throw this in at the end, so I apologize. But we're out walking the trail. So this video is actually backwards now. This is coming at the end of the video. You've heard the history, but I'm actually on my way working on trying to find the witness tree where we just filmed of the Underground Railroad. I can hear the dogs barking, the home guard yelling. I hear shackles and chains of enslaved African Americans escaping into these woods. The map was not very helpful, to say the least. I'm actually not entirely certain I'm going the right way. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Right down there. So I'm on green. Let's see if we can get over here so you can see it. I think green is the right way. I have to pull up the map and just look at it again. That's kind of cool. They've painted a rock down there. Alright, I'm going to put a pause on this video. We're going to come back as we continue the walk out. Just make sure I'm on the right trail. Alright, just a quick check and we are spot on. Just staying with the green trail. It's going to be a little bit of a hike. I was not expecting that. I'm already a quarter mile in. But it makes sense. Makes sense. The runaways would want to get away from civilization as much as possible. So the deeper in the woods that you can get, the better chance you have at making it to the north. And so what we're going to see, I think I see the stand right up here. We've made it. So as I've mentioned, this is the Underground Railroad. I talked about it in detail a few minutes ago in this video. But it's a very important piece of American history. If you ever get the chance, it's on the grounds of Guilford College. If you ever get the chance, I encourage you to come out and walk the trail. I like listening to music and stuff when I walk and whatnot, but coming out here and just listening to the echoes of freedom that ring through these woods is incredible. So I'm going to wrap up here. We appreciate everybody hanging out. Let me see if I can close this out right. We appreciate everybody hanging out. This has been Echoes of Freedom. We will see you in the next adventure.